Is Philadelphia the perfect city and the perfect metro area? I don't think anywhere is perfect, but there is a lot to like about the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding counties, and we're going to break it down all here for you next, whether it's history, restaurants, transportation, sporting events, right? That's something Philadelphia is really well known for. We're going to explain all of it here and the reasons why my family and I like living in the metro Philadelphia area, and we've got a lot of extended family here too. So if you get some value out of this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. And if you want to schedule a call with our team about making a move or your real estate needs in the Philadelphia area, you can click on the link in the comments and our amazing team can help you. So I came up with 11 different reasons that we love living in the greater Philadelphia area. And the first, to me, is the history and the culture. You've got the Declaration of Independence getting signed. Independence Mall down on 6th Street, downtown in Philadelphia. Valley Forge Park, where Revolutionary War battles were fought. And you have all these historic battlefields all over the entire metro area. There's so much history here. It's the birthplace of the country. You've got the Betsy Ross House downtown. You've got, again, there's battlefields. There's log cabins you can go see in Valley Forge Park. There is so much history in the area here, not only with how the country was founded, but you got places like Hopewell Furnace and these other monuments and local places you can go visit, a ton of national parks. There is a lot to like about the history here and the culture because it's really cool seeing cobblestone streets and historic homes that are 150, 200, 300 years old, and we've got a lot of those in the greater Philadelphia area. And it's one of the reasons why people like it, because there's so much character and culture in the marketplace here. The second reason is the amount of downtown Main Street areas. You don't have to go to downtown Philadelphia. Some people don't like cities, but they want some sort of in-town feel. You've got places like Media Borough, Westchester Borough, Phoenixville Borough, the Main Line, Doylestown. The list goes on and on and on. And more of these are getting developed. Kennett Square is a great example. 20, 30 years ago, Kennett Square didn't have any sort of downtown Main Street. Now it's been totally developed. Phoenixville's in that same boat. You see places like Jenkintown that have this. Abington, all these different towns, whether you're in Chester County, Delaware County, Montgomery County, Bucks County, you got New Hope. There's all these downtown areas that get people really excited about going out, having a bite to eat, walking around, patronizing local businesses. This is something that has been really exciting to see grow for people that live in the suburbs, want to tap into the city, but don't always want to go downtown. So the amount of Main Street areas we have here is pretty incredible. Number 3, you've got a real downtown city in Philadelphia. You've got City Hall right in the middle of it all. You've got Rittenhouse Square. You've got Old City. You've got South Philadelphia that kind of trails right into those. You've got all these neighborhoods downtown. Philadelphia is a real bustling downtown area, and you don't get that in a lot of places. A lot of cities don't feel like cities. If you talk to people from the Northeast, and there are tons of restaurants, and there's history all over the place. You got museums, all sorts of things happening right in a real downtown, which is what we have in Philadelphia. The fourth one is transportation. So it's not only the local transportation, which SEPTA does a really nice job with regional rail and the bus systems, but you have 122 destinations you can travel to from Philadelphia International Airport. You've also got Amtrak that runs you to Washington, D.C., New York. You can take it to Boston. You can go down to Florida, and you can go west as well into Harrisburg and some of the western cities. Obviously, it's a lot quicker to fly, don't get me wrong. What we have is a very accessible city to get in and out of, not having to drive. And to me, that is a super valuable piece of living in any community. Number 5, you got a ton of museums, right? We talked about the history, but there's also a lot of culture. You have the Franklin Institute. You've got the Academy of Natural Sciences. You've got the Philadelphia Art Museum. You've got all these museums. And you got like the Mutter Museum, which is very cool. A little oddity sort of place there. There are tons of museums that you can visit and go take your family out for the day, go see something that you maybe haven't seen before. You go to the Franklin Institute or the Academy of Natural Sciences, they have Harry Potter exhibits. They've got the heart. They've got the dinosaur skeleton, right? Kids love this stuff, and it's really cool to see. So I could not stress enough the value of seeing a lot of these museums. You also got a lot of school options, private and public. We've got some of the best public school systems in the entire country right outside Philadelphia, in Chester County, Montgomery County, Delaware counties. You can go look them up online, Google them, see what's going to be right for you. But there are a plethora of options. And on top of that, you've got some of the best private schools around as well. There's all kinds of academies and prep schools, whether they're downtown, they're outside the city. You really can't go wrong with the school systems in the area here, and it's something that we're very fortunate to have, especially being a parent and having 3 kids. I'm really grateful. I know my kids are getting a solid education before college. The food scene, pretty bananas in Philadelphia. If you like sandwiches, Philadelphia is the city for you, whether it's the DeNick's Italian roast pork sandwich down at the Reading Terminal, the thousands, probably not thousands, more like hundreds of cheesesteak options, whether it's out in the suburbs like Johnny's Pizza, which is one of my new favorites, some of the more iconic Pat's and Gino's, places that are downtown. There are all sorts of food options when it comes to sandwiches, but you also got a lot of fine dining too. So there are 16 James Beard nominee chefs that over the past couple years that have restaurants in Philadelphia, whether it's Mark Vetri, Nick Elmy, the list goes on. And these are iconic chefs around the country. And you've got an amazing scene with farmers markets. The Reading Terminal is the oldest freestanding market in the country, but then in the suburbs, you also get these. You have the farmers market in Ardmore. You've got one in Wayne. You've got real farmers markets when you get out into Chester County, even tapping into Lancaster a little bit. There are tons of places where there are great food options to test out. You've also got a real Chinatown downtown where you can get some amazing Asian food. There are all sorts of things when it comes to food that Philadelphia is like this beautiful place where if you like eating and going out to dinner, this is a great spot to go to. You also get all 4 seasons here. We're not one of these places where it's warm year-round or it's cold year-round. You get a real winter. You get a real spring, a great summer where you can tap into the Jersey Shore, and a beautiful fall with all the foliage, whether it's orange, yellow, red. There's actually a fall foliage map that comes out for the entire state of Pennsylvania so people can see what's happening and where to get like the best views of the fall foliage, which is pretty cool. And with that, there's places to tap into seasonally, right? You want to go see some Christmas displays. You got the Christmas Village downtown, natural tree farms all over the place. You can go see the light show at Macy's. These are iconic things people do. In the fall, you can go to one of the many orchards we have around here, like Linvilla Orchards and Media. In the summertime, you can tap into the Jersey Shore, one of my favorite spots to go over the summer. And in the spring, it's just a beautiful place to, see the kids' Little League games. And there's just a lot of great weather, great flowers. You have the flower show downtown, a lot of great stuff to tap into. We already talked about the history, but there's also a ton of green space and state parks, right? You have Valley Forge Park. You've got access to the mountains, to the Poconos. You can also get down the shore really easily. You can see everything you want to see in nature where you're a couple hours away from the Appalachian Trail. You can go skiing up in the Poconos an hour or 2 away. There's even local ski mountains here that aren't quite as big, but if you're in a pinch, you can go out there and take a run down the hill. We get all the local amenities here. You can even tap into places like the Chesapeake is only an hour and a half away. So a lot of great ways to experience nature here. We've got tons of parks and tons of options depending on what's going to be your thing that you like doing. If you want to go hiking, there's tons of hiking trails. We've got it all here. Last 2. The sports scene in Philadelphia, to me, is unrivaled. We have some of the craziest, most passionate fans in the U.S., and we've got all the sports. We've got, obviously, Major League Baseball. We've got minor league baseball. Within an hour or 2 away, you've got the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. You got the Philadelphia Phillies downtown. You have the Reading Fightin' Phils is their new name. They used to be the Phillies when I was a kid. So you can tap into all these places an hour or 2 away from the metro area, and you can go see baseball. You also got the Philadelphia 76ers. You got their G League team, the Delaware Bluecoats, only about an hour away. Football, obviously, it's a major football city. You've got the Philadelphia Eagles. You also have Temple football, if you like college football. High school football is a big deal here. And we've got a professional hockey team, the Philadelphia Flyers, as well. So you got the Philadelphia Union that play down in Chester, so you get to see soccer. Lionel Messi was there just this past year. We've got all the sports, everything you need. We've got indoor lacrosse, right? I mean, you got the whole package here when it comes to sports. And tailgating is something that's a lot of fun. Sports bars are pretty rampant. And people get excited. They're passionate, and it's an event to go watch a game here, which is not the case in a lot of other major cities. And the places are pretty kid-friendly. Going to a Phillies game, very kid-friendly. That's a beautiful thing to happen. Philadelphia 76ers games, the minor league teams. There's a lot of kid-friendly options as well as adult options. And last, you've got some really diverse real estate in the greater Philadelphia area where we're talking about farmhouses built in the 1700s. We've got historic homes in downtown Philadelphia and all throughout the main line and the surrounding suburbs, Chester County, Westchester, Delaware County, you name it. We've got historic homes. You also got new construction. You got townhomes, condos, pretty much whatever you want you can find based on, obviously, budget is something that's a factor for a lot of people, but you're not getting a one-size-fits-all sort of house here if that's what you're looking for. There's a ton of options that are going to make a lot of sense. So is Philadelphia the perfect city? Absolutely not. But it's my city, and there's a lot to love about it, and hopefully this gives you a sneak peek of what could await you here if you're thinking about making a move or you want to stay in the metro area.